from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studio. It's the Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Give us a buzz at 888-825-5225. I'm John Deloney, joined here by my good friend Jade Warshaw, and we're here to burn this thing to the ground.
Come on, John.
I hope y'all are doing well. 888-825-5225. Taking your calls on life, money, all of it. There's been a lot of buzz about getting you and I on the show together, so I'm excited for it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited for it. This is the next decade or so. It's going to be awesome.
Pure pandemonium, John.
Can't wait. Let's go to Jennifer in the BCC in British Columbia. What's up, Jennifer?
Hi. Thank you so much for taking my call, you guys.
Of course. Thanks for calling. What's up?
I'm calling because right now I'm just going through a trying time in my relationship. My fiance and I purchased a house last year, and I just need his help getting on board with paying bills, as well as just pretty much paying the bills. And I'm currently on maternity leave, and I was wondering if I should come off of maternity leave to double our income so that we're able to pay off our bills faster.
What's beneath? Money's a part of this. What else is happening?
I think it's also a communication problem. What's happening is that my parents have been very helpful to us. So I think what happens is, along with the bills, that they kind of rely on me. So if everything is not paid, my parents will pay for it. And I'm just in a stage of my life where I kind of want to stand on my own and not really have so much help from my parents. And I'm just trying to get my partner on board, my fiance on board, so that we could crush our financial debts together.
So he's resting on the laurels of your parents being the safety net. Am I gathering that correctly?
Pretty much.
I have a big problem with this.
Yeah, the whole thing sounds like a mess.
I have a big problem. You're pregnant. How far along are you?
No, I'm on maternity leave.
Oh, you're on leave. Okay.
Yeah, she's currently 5 months right now.
5 months.
So here in Canada, we get a year.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, I'm just making 80% of my income from my job.
Uh-huh.
But if I go back to taking contracts and coming off of maternity leave, I could make 100% or plus.
What's he making?
We're not in a deficit. A month.
If you're at 80% of your income, is he at 100% of his? And what does that mean?
He is at 100% of his.
And how much is that?
A month he brings home after taxes roughly $4,000.
What problem are you trying to solve, Jennifer? I can't tell if you're married. You're not married, but I can't tell if your relationship is falling apart. If y'all are in the hole financially, what's happening?
It's both.
Because I'm wondering. I don't know. Another 20% is going to change your life much.
I agree, but I think it's just a miscommunication between us. And I think because I'm totally Dave Ramsey and he's not, it makes things a lot hard. If I say, let's create a budget, let's do this together, he's just like, oh, it's okay, we'll work things out.
So that's a foundational thing. You've got to be able to work together. And this is a really strong indicator that this is not going to just come up in finances. This is going to come up in so many other areas of your life. And you got to be able to work together.
Why is he so dismissive of your needs?
I think because he knows that we have a safety net. I think. But
No. That's different than that's financial, right? That's financial. When you say I want this or I need this, and he's like, I don't care. Why is he so dismissive?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
I think you guys have got some real work to do, some real digging to do. Hey, can I just be honest with you? If it were me, this would be a major, major red flag. And I know you've got a kid with this dude now, but this is a problem. And what John is getting at is that it's far deeper than money. And I agree with him wholeheartedly. Now, on the phone today, I'm happy to help you with the money stuff, but please don't let that make you feel like it's solved, okay? Do we agree? If I help you with the money,
agree.
if I help you with the money stuff, we know the relationship stuff is not solved. Okay.
Yeah.
So give me a couple of numbers so I can give you a jump off point here.
Okay.
So what kind of debt do you guys have?
We have, like, obviously our mortgage, and then we owe about $40,000 to our line of credit.
Okay. Is that credit cards or it's a HELOC? What kind of line of credit?
It's just a credit card.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
That's it? No cars?
Yes.
No student loans?
No. We're
Okay.
debt-free in those kind of aspects.
And so you said you're at 80% of your income. How much is that a month?
Right now I bring in about 45.
45? So you guys are about 8,500 a month?
Yes.
Okay. Here's the thing. You do need to get on a budget. You know that. So let's start budgeting, because here's the thing. You're not married. So you're well within your means to do your finances on your own. He's just your fiance at this point. Whether you go forward onto marriage is one thing, but right now you, Jennifer, need to get on a budget with your $4,500 a month. And if I'm you, I'm not going to depend on his money like that. If he wants to put money towards paying for the kid, that's fine, but pay off your debt. Don't pay off his debt. So how much of that 40K is yours and how much of it is his?
It's both of ours. It's joint.
No, it's not.
Oh, it is. It's a joint, like, credit card that we have to make purchases for a house.
Okay. So right from this day forward, keep those finances separate, okay? Because I don't like how this looks going forward for you, and I don't want you to continue to get deeper and deeper in shared finances with someone that you're not married to, because this could get real messy real fast. Am I right, John?
It already is. Remember this line, Jennifer. Behavior is a language. And without using words, your husband is telling you your fiance is telling you, I've got no interest in partnering with you on this deal. I have no interest in creating a life together with you. We do have a kid. Congratulations to us. But I've got no interest in anything other than what I'm interested in. And if you're my sister, if you're my daughter, I'm telling you to get away from that guy. And I'm telling you as your friend, be as open and honest about what you need. And so instead of sitting down and saying, hey, we need to do the Dave Ramsey plan. Say, fiance, I'm scared to death and I can't breathe. We have a new baby. I'm scared to death owing $40,000. I'm sick and tired of calling my mommy and my daddy to come bail us out. It's time for me to be an adult, and I want to invite you to be an adult with me. And maybe for the first time, he'll hear it because you're going to be honest and open for the first time, too. But this is not a money issue. This is a relationship issue. Let's start there. We'll be right back on The Ramsey Show.
Y'all, there's a lot you can't control when it comes to healthcare, but there is something you should check out that can help. Christian Healthcare Ministries. CHM is not insurance. It is budget-friendly, biblically based health cost sharing. That means a community of members helping share the burden of each other's healthcare costs. They help people just like you in all 50 states. So see if CHM could be right for your family. Learn more today at chministries.org/budget.
This is The Ramsey Show. I'm John Deloney, joined with my good friend Jade Warshaw, and we are taking your calls on money and life. 888-825-5225. We're talking money, talking your marriage, your relationships, your mental health, your work, whatever's going on. Holler at us. 888-825-5225. And before we get to this video here, don't forget, it costs literally nothing. I know times are hard, everybody's strapped. That includes me and Jade, where everybody's dealing with this stuff, man. a great way you can support this show, and more importantly than supporting the show, we're fine. We pat each other on the back a lot. Really, it's a gift to that single mom with 2 kids who's sitting at home, who's stuck and doesn't know what she's doing, and she's just scrolling YouTube because she finally got a moment of peace after her kids are in bed. Or that over-the-road trucker who's just pulled into another rest stop and he's just scrolling through YouTube or listening to podcasts. Your likes, when you hit the subscribe button, your 5-star reviews, it helps kick the show up into the algorithm and makes it available to more people so that they can get the help that they need. And if you've been a beneficiary of that, I'm not asking for your money. I'm asking you just to hit subscribe, just leave a 5-star review and just said, help change my life. And that will get that information in front of more people. It's a great way to support us and more importantly, to support your neighbors. And it didn't cost you anything. All right. So Jade.
What's up?
Producer James, sent us a video.
Yes, he did.
Chad Ochocinco Johnson.
Yeah.
Former NFL wide receiver, did an interview with Shannon Sharp on his Club Shay Shay podcast. Mm-hmm. James is a huge Club Shay Shay podcast fan. That guy talks about that all the time. But we got a couple of videos here. He was speaking some stuff that might sound a little bit wild.
He was talking about money and what he does with his money, and let's let the people hear it.
All right, so here's the part 1 of the video. Don't try to live a lifestyle you can't afford.
When people, they think the cure and the fix for the problem is, well, give me more money, I'm gonna be all right. Well, the more you make, the more you spend.
Right.
If you have no discipline and no structure.
Yes, absolutely.
Every time.
Yes.
Every time. Well, just give me more and more. No, the more you get, the more you're going to spend. And people ain't going to listen because we are caught up in looking a certain way, living a certain way, trying to appease others who don't really care nothing about you.
Yeah.
Just to say, oh, I got it.
Wow.
I got it too, and I had it for almost 30 years. I done saved, 83% of my salary. I don't need validation from nobody on the outside. That's another downfall. In society, we always need validation and acceptance from others. Don't try to live a lifestyle that you know you can't afford.
Right.
You can't do that.
All right, so you got a pro football player. It said in the copy there, he flew Spirit Airlines instead of chartering a jet. And this guy made millions and millions and millions.
Yeah.
Right. Instead of flying Southwest, I'm flying Spirit. Right. Fake jewelry, the whole thing. Because he's like, man, I don't have to prove myself to everybody.
I love it. I love it. I've been guilty of that. I've been guilty of being in situations where I feel like I have to prove like I belong here. Mm-hmm. And the way to prove I belong is by, having the same bag she has, having the same shoes they have. And if you do that, it's like a status thing, but it's so deeply rooted in insecurity. It really is. Like, that's not, and I heard him say on another part of the interview too, like, that's not what gives you your worth. Huh. Like, what you can buy, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So I love that. It makes me think of that scripture. One person pretends to be rich yet has nothing. And another pretends to be poor but has great wealth. I mean, what do you want to do? You want to be fake rich or real rich? You know what I'm saying? And I like what he said.
This show is a lot about like exact ratios and what's the exact percentage before I do this and the ratio before I do this and this.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to get caught up in the numbers here, but saving 80% of his income.
Yes, he's extreme.
But he's also making millions and millions.
Yeah.
And I have been guilty of he was exactly right.
Yeah.
I've spent my entire career thinking, well, if I just made some more money, then fill in the blank. And what ends up happening is my house has gotten a little bit bigger, my car's gotten a little bit nicer, and I realized a few jobs ago, this just never stops until I stop it. I got to get off the train.
The goalpost keeps moving.
Every single time.
See what I did there?
Yeah, I see what you did there.
Sorry.
Well played. So don't try to live a lifestyle you can afford.
Yeah.
Here's the hard truth of this. It's easy to look at Ochocinco and say, okay, he's worth millions and millions. So what we are saying, and I'll say, you can join me or not, if you make $65,000 as a teacher, you've chosen a Corolla life. And that is okay. You've chosen a Camry life until you can, like, what is it? The third job that's a millionaire, right? There's engineers and something else and teachers, right?
That's right.
On the list. So you can get there.
Absolutely.
But you don't get to decide, well, I want to have an $80,000 Suburban, which is used, by the way.
Right.
When your take-home salary is $65,000, like we have to live relative to the job we make instead of trying to live a lifestyle that we can't afford.
I mean, I definitely think, for him, saving 83% of his income looks totally different than, like you said, a teacher, somebody who's making an average salary. It's not the same. I mean, I don't save 83% of my income. Are you kidding me?
Like, yeah.
I'd be wearing a cardboard box right now. So,
well, and I know there's teachers across the country that just rolled their eyes when I said 65,000. Like, I don't know what teachers making that.
Not that.
Yeah, but it's when you. Let me just say it this way. Stop trying to pretend to live somebody else's life. If you've made the choice to have job X or job Y, or it's the only job you can get, that's fantastic. And be so proud of yourself. Be grateful of the contribution you're making and live that lifestyle.
Absolutely. Yeah, you've got to, it points to contentment. Mm-hmm. And again, I feel like we do have to highlight the ratios because it's a lot easier for him to, quote, it's easy to say, oh, it's easier for him to live on 20%. He's got millions. But to his point, the like we said, the goalpost is always moving, and it's interesting because you're always comparing yourself to what's around you. Like I was watching something, I think it was Kevin Hart, and he was talking about, if you're on a basketball team or a football team, you're hanging out with those guys. They're not all making the same money.
That's right.
Like, it's a difference between if you're like first string and if you're like, I don't know, like the sixth man or like over on the sidelines. And we're talking hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars difference in pay.
Right.
So it's like, hey, after the game, we're all going out.
Yep.
Really? Like, you're not doing what the quarterback's doing. And it's the same thing in our own life. If I go out with a bunch of folks, it's easy to think, hey, we're all here. Mm-hmm. We can all afford the same things.
Yep.
And you can't.
That's right.
I mean, how many times you go to dinner with people and it's like, well, they ordered the steak, I guess. Well, maybe I'll order it too. Like, and you start changing your behavior based on who you're around. You go to work, you start looking at the cars in the parking lot. Oh, well, maybe I need that too. And you start comparing yourself, but you don't know. You don't know their life. You only know your life, and you're the one that's got to sleep at night.
That's exactly right. And we often don't understand that somebody's mom passed away and left them a bunch of money.
Okay.
Or somebody's granddad passed away and left them a house, or somebody else is struggling, and that's why they drive that car, because they don't care about this dumb depreciating asset on wheels. They're more interested in saving their college funds. We just make all sorts of stories up about our people in the parking lot next to us.
Yeah.
Stop.
I just...
Live your life. All right, let's go to the second one. He has a part 2 to this. Roll it, James.
But everybody's caught up in image and looking a certain way and being rich. It's me. It's pointless. You know how hard it is to live like that all the time, consistently, and be fly every day?
Yeah.
Jewelry and listen, eras of rappers. Think about the era before us.
Right.
Everybody was flashy, stunned, and after 10 years, what happens?
They ain't flashy, they ain't stunned.
No, you can't. It's impossible to sustain.
Right.
It's impossible.
I love that he's talking about athletic culture, hip hop culture, because 78% of athletes are losing their wealth within 3 years. Yeah. And it's because of the culture. More bags, Gucci belts, bottle service, Maseratis, like Bentleys, like this is the culture. I'm so glad that somebody's talking about that, telling us that it's not necessary. This is not what's giving us our wealth. Rappers are not the people who tell us how we have to dress, John. Jay-Z don't tell you what car you have to drive, okay, John?
He does. He texted me the other day and told me I should get some new clothes, and so I am going shopping.
Look, if Queen Bee calls me, I'm coming. But I am not taking out a 401k loan to do it, all right?
We'll be right back on The Ramsey Show.
Look, I love real estate, and I want you to have a house, but I don't want a house to have you. That's why you need to get in touch with Churchill Mortgage to make sure you do this right. These guys are awesome. They'll help you get on a smarter mortgage plan because they're committed to doing what's right for you. That means they check in every year with free consultations to help you stay on the right plan. They show you how to save money and interest so you can build wealth faster. They walk you through the total cost of your loan so you can make the best choice. Basically, they care. That's why we call them Ramsey Trusted. You can achieve debt-free home ownership, and Churchill is here to help. Go to their site, churchillmortgage.com/Ramsey, to start your approval or get more information.
This is the Ramsey Show, 888-825-5225. I'm John Deloney, joined by Jade Warshaw. We're taking your calls on money and life. Let's go to Tony in Savannah. What's up, T-Money? How we doing?
Hey, how are you, sir? Thank you for taking my call.
You got it, my brother. What's up?
Hey, we have a military retirement and a VA retirement. And my wife and I were wondering, we have no debt other than the house. And we're wondering if the VA and the military retirement can be used towards the 3 to 6 months of emergency fund. And we can take the rest of the funds, the stocks, the gold, the silver, that stuff, and put it towards our house to pay it off. What do you think?
That's an interesting question. I'm going to dig a little bit further. So how much are you getting from the VA?
I get $1,600 right now.
Okay. And the other military one?
I think total between both of them is $6,850.
That's the total between all of it, $6,850?
Yeah.
Okay. And is there any other income coming in?
Oh, yeah. My wife works. I work. Probably total, including that, is probably about $150,000 a year.
Okay. So I would I would treat this just as part of your normal income and walk through the baby steps as though it's part of your normal income. So it sounds like you said you have no other debt. You're working on the 3 to 6 months of savings. Is that correct?
Well, we have that. The 3 months of savings would be about $24,000.
Okay.
And we have that.
And you have that.
Okay. And then we're thinking about, can I stop there, use this money to just go right into the house debt and get rid of it?
Well,
with the rest of the money.
Well, I kind of continue to walk up. So this payout, this $6,850, that's forever, correct?
Correct.
And do you have any other retirement savings besides that?
Wife has a 401k. We have about $100,000 in gold and other things.
Okay, yeah. So let's continue to walk up the baby steps. Again, treating all of this as though it's income, like regular income, putting 15% of your household income, including this money, into your 401ks, Roth IRAs, and maxing those out, and then just walking up the baby steps. No kids' college to save for?
None.
Okay, then now we're going to the house. So once you're at 15% of that retirement contribution, then I would start, doing extra towards the house. Does that make sense?
Sure. And understanding that, I just want to make sure I'm clear. Mm-hmm. Understanding that the 15% is on top of what I already make, the $6,800, because we're counting that as just income towards our living.
I would. How big are those nest eggs?
Like I said, we've got about 100,000 sitting there.
100,000. I mean, yeah, that's not gonna. I mean, it's great that you have it. If you wanted to keep that separate and just take your normal income and invest that at the 15%, I think that's fine. It doesn't make sense to take it out of an investment and reinvest it. You know what I'm saying? So I would take your normal income and do it like that.
I would also sell all their single stocks, all your gold and silver. Get rid of that crap.
Yeah, you don't need that.
And put that cash towards your house. I wouldn't have a problem with that.
That's great, John.
Perfect.
How much you have in all that nonsense?
Probably about 70,000.
Oh yeah.
What are you, Tony? What are you doing?
What do you owe on the house?
230,000.
Oh yeah, I like John's idea. Let's get 70K liquid as soon as possible. Throw that at the house and bump up your retirement to 15% out of your take-home pay. Man, you're going to be home free in a minute with this house. That's exciting.
Right.
Okay, can I ask you a personal question? But I'm not putting you on blast on the radio. I just really want to know. Why gold and silver? Like, what is that? So you're in the military. Like, you have either seen it with your own eyes or worked with people who have seen it. Like, what happens when it goes down? What
we
about
were worried about the
gold and
Go ahead.
silver
I'm
makes
sorry.
you feel warm inside?
It wasn't warm inside. It was more of a safety valve. We were a little bit worried about the stocks dropping so far that we just rolled it.
Just so that you had something other than 401ks. So you're saying if there was a major stock
Exactly.
market drop, you just liked knowing that you had something else there. Yeah. I mean, that sounds
Correct.
There's a lot of people that feel that way, John.
I get the sentiment. My promise to you is it won't save you if that actually happens. I had a buddy of mine.
Okay.
He's a banking guru, and I've told the story a few times. That I was hammering him. I had a whole list of things like what happens when the market does this, and the U.S. dollar is going to collapse. I was just going after him. I was like this, and then this, and then this, and he said something that I'll remember for the rest of my life. He said he realized what I was asking, and what I was asking was make me feel not anxious, not answer all my math problems. And he finally said, "Hey, dude, I don't have a meteorite plan." And I said, "What do you mean?" And he said, "Dude, I'm putting money in retirement. I paid my house off," and this is a banker. It has nothing to do with Dave Ramsey. He's like, I'm taking all of the variables off the table that I can take off, which is I don't owe anybody anything. I've got retirement. And if the entire Wall Street collapses, and here's this quote, "Your neighbor's going to try to shoot you for your water, and your gold and silver won't save you." And the way he described, I was like, oh yeah, I'm planning for an imaginary apocalypse. And so I was in a weird way, I was free after that. I get I want to have an exit strategy. I want to do all these things. What happens is people tie up $70,000 while every month you're making a payment to make a mortgage company rich. And I'd rather you take care of those variables or take them off the table so that if something collapses, no one can come take your house from you. No one can come take your fill in the blank, your cars from you because you don't owe anybody anything on them, which is a different proposition than, "Hey guys, I got silver bars. You want to trade?" Like, man, that's not going to get you very far when somebody wants your water, right? But thank you so much for the call, Tony. By the end of today, you're going to be $160,000 on that mortgage. That'll be awesome.
Yeah. No, like 130. He's going to be closer than that. Didn't he say it was 200?
I thought I said it was 250, but either way, he's making his move, man.
Yeah,
That's
my
awesome.
guy's about to be debt-free, home included.
Good
That's exciting.
deal, Tony. All right, let's go to William in Chicago. What's up, William?
Hey, Don. Thanks for taking my call. Can you hear me well?
Absolutely, my brother. What's up?
Hey, man. Super excited. Again, thank you. So I purchased a car last year, and just I love the car. I want to keep it, but this was before me reading Rachel's book and getting into Dave. So now I'm kind of wondering at what point is it worth to keep it? I think I can. I think if things go well, just like it did last year, I think I can get it paid off within 12 months. But it is really a toy car.
How much is it worth?
Yeah.
So it's worth about 80. I dropped about 40 for a down payment.
So what's the monthly payment on it?
It's $700, but right now I'm paying $1,000 a month, and then I have the money. I have money in savings that I can pay it off completely, but that would kind of leave me with just a little bit of.
How much do you make? What's your salary?
So we do sales, right? So, I've averaged over 100. Last year, me and the wife brought in, I'd say about 250.
How many cars do you have?
The wife has her own car. I got my car. They're both about fairly new, I would say.
So between the three cars, what are they all worth combined?
All combined, they're worth about 100.
Okay. So the way we teach is we wouldn't want you to have more than half of your annual income tied up in cars. My thing is, if you've got the money to pay this off, if this is your only debt, you've got the money to pay it off, why not just pay it off and be free of it? If you're going to pay it off in 12 months, I'm fine with that. It sounds like it's not killing you. You're just like, should I not? If you can pay it off, pay it off. If baby step to it. If you don't want to do that, pay it off in a year, get rid of it. And just remember that rule of thumb, no more than 50% of things going down in value should be more than 50% of your take-home pay annually.
This is The Ramsey Show. Triple 825-5225. Listen, this is a super exciting day. I get to announce something I'm jazzed about. Our Money and Marriage event is back, but it's going to be wilder than ever before. Today, I get to announce the Money and Marriage Getaway. Join Rachel Cruz and me and several others right here in Nashville for a weekend-long getaway in October that will have you and your spouse feeling more aligned and connected than ever before. The Money and Marriage Getaway is designed for you and your spouse to disconnect from everyday life and the anxiety and the stress and the worry and all that mayhem and focus on your marriage. I'm hearing all over the country marriages are hanging on by a thread. This is for you. Listen, it's Valentine's, and right now you're overflowing with love for your spouse. Oh, gross. And thinking about the romantic night that you two have planned. Or some of you are like, oh, crap, it's Valentine's Day. That kind of connection with your spouse shouldn't happen just once or twice a year for some manufactured holiday. As part of the getaway, you're going to get a fun date night experience, time set aside to reflect and grow together, and plenty of encouragement and ideas from me and Rachel Cruz that will help the two of you stay on the same page about your money, your marriage, sex and intimacy, all of it. We're going there, and it's going to be fantastic. Plus, we're super excited to meet you in Nashville in person. Here's the thing. It's expensive. It's an intimate 3-day event. The ticket prices start at $699.
That's good.
I know. I was going to say it's expensive, but it's actually not right when I said it.
3 nights.
Yeah.
Come on, John.
So if you're in baby step 2, this event isn't for you this year. Head to RamseySolutions.com/events to get more info and save your spot. It's going to sell out, and it's going to sell out quick. Nashville's a fun place to be, and we're going to have all kinds of fun things planned for you over the course of a weekend, and we are really looking forward to it. Go to RamseySolutions.com/events to get more info and save your spot. Some of you are going to stop by, the grocery store on the way home to pick up some flowers. Don't. Buy your wife a weekend getaway marriage retreat in Nashville.
Okay, phew. I was like, what are you saying, John?
That's a good move. So last night, hey, listen, Jade, last night I'm walking into my house and I was sitting in the car. I got home and I was putting my stuff away and I was scrolling. One last time, I was going to check my email, check my Instagram before I went in.
One last scroll.
And my wife had, I know, the thing's one last scroll, but my wife had sent me a DM. It was a poem from Mary Oliver. And it was a long poem, but it just started with, I don't want your flowers. And it was like, I want this, I want this, I want this. I don't want your flowers. And I walked in the front door and I'm reading this thing, carrying a bouquet of flowers. And I just handed it to my wife and I was like, sorry, I just got your message. And she started laughing. It was fun.
That is funny. I like flowers. My husband gets me Look, I came home, there was flowers.
See.
And I said to Sam, I was like, I've never gotten a box of chocolates for Valentine's Day. I always saw it on TV. I always got teddy bears or a nice dinner. I just wanted a box of chocolate. I wanted the sappy, this is what Valentine's Day. I was like, I want roses and I want a box of chocolates.
And he got you?
That's what I got. He got them all the way from Oregon. Box of chocolates.
That guy knows what's up.
Delicious.
Way to go, man. I'm getting my wife a one-person ticket to the Money Marriage event. She can just sit in the audience and listen to her husband lecture other people on how they should be married.
That's hilarious.
She'll love that.
Oh, gosh.
All right, let's go to Jennifer in Los Angeles. What is up, Jennifer?
Hi. Thanks for taking my call.
Oh, what's up?
Thanks for calling. What's happening?
So I always have a question. My husband and I always wonder, how much should we be budgeting for fun money every month? Is there like a ratio or percentage?
Did my wife tell you to call?
No, but
That's
sounds
funny.
like we should connect.
Probably. No, you should. I should keep y'all two apart. Jade, what's the rule of thumb here?
Well, let me guess, Jennifer, you're the spender in the relationship.
We are both really frugal, actually. That's why
Okay.
that's where this question's coming from.
You know what? I don't really play this by ratio per se or like percentage. I kind of take it a case by case basis and look at what's going on. Are you guys in debt? Like, tell me a little bit more about your financials, if you will.
So our only debt is our mortgage. We own about $500,000 on our house.
Okay.
It's worth about 1.2, 1.3.
Hey.
No, we both work. I am an assistant to a financial advisor, and my husband is a pharmacist. We have a 1-year-old daughter.
Good deal. So when you're doing your budget and you've got margin left over, right now, what are you doing with that money? You're putting some in savings. You're investing. Like, are you on baby step 4 at this point, investing the 15%?
15% into retirement?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so we each have 15% going to our 401k.
Sweet.
And after that, we have a few $1,000s every month, but we don't really pay off the house with it. We kind of just put it into a joint account, and I invest it every once in a while.
So here's the thing. When it comes to the first couple of baby steps, those are all about being super intense, right? It's like, we're not going to restaurants. We're not going out to eat. We're not going on trips. It's like that. But once you get to the final baby steps, 4, 5, and 6, it's more about being intentional. I do think that you should be putting money towards paying off your house. But I also think y'all need to have fun. You guys have worked hard. Everything's going well. You do need to budget for fun. I'm not going to tell you, and that must be $300. I'm not going to make that choice for you. But I do think that it's important that you have a little bit of money that you do things with, and that your husband has a little bit of money that he does things with, and that you both have things that you do together. And you can call it fun money. You can call it, Jennifer's money. What's your husband's name?
John.
John can have his line item. John's $100, Jennifer's $100. And, I think that if you plan for it, you will feel better about spending it. I have found that with frugal people, it's like, I'm just like, can I honestly go to Target and spend I don't know, $200? If it's on the budget and you're following the plan, you're handling business, yes. The answer is yes. There's 3 things you can do with money. You can give it, you can save it, and you can spend it. And a lot of times when we're very frugal, come on, John, talk about spending, because I know that you got the tight purse strings.
I spend too much, actually. Here's what's helped us in our house, Jennifer, is instead of having a fun money line, I will say I would like to buy another guitar. Like, it's an actual purchase that we head toward. My wife will actually ask me, I'm assuming you're going to go hang out with some friends this month because you need to stop being so lonely. You need to go out and have some friends. How many times are you going to go out? And how much do you want me to put in that line? So sometimes fun money for planners is too amorphous, but put it towards a thing. When y'all sit down and do your budget every month and you look at your calendar and match schedules, hey, you're going to go out with some of the people from the pharmacy once a week. How much do you want me to put in that line? And that's different than fun money, because fun money at the end of the month is easy to, if you're super frugal, it's easy just to put into a retirement account, and you're going to wake up and be 65 and realize you haven't lived your life yet. And so plan for some of these things. I'm going to buy a book once a month. I'm going to go have lunch with my girlfriends once a month. Like, whatever the thing is, make it about specific items instead of just this slush fund. And for me, I like having a slush fund. It makes me feel happy inside.
I do too. I like that on the budget it says Jade's, and it does say fun money. It says Jade's fun money, and I could take that money out in cash. I don't have to answer nobody's questions about it, John. I come back with things, and Sam is like, "Hey, what's that?" I'm like, "It's my fun money. It's okay. It's my fun money."
John, what's the next guitar on your list to buy?
Dude, I'm struggling, man. I really want a Flying V bad, but I want another one. I want another one, Ben. Don't judge. And I also really, really want a Gibson Firebird. and one of Sam's Paul Reed Smiths.
I just love that Sam is out there like shaking his head at the Flying V and shaking his head yes at the PRS.
There's only a few people who can hang with the Flying V's, man. One day, James. Hey, that's first hour in the books here on The Ramsey Show. Take care of one another, take care of your money, and we'll see you soon next hour. Hey, it's Dr. John Deloney. If you love the show and want a deeper dive on your money journey, we have a weekly newsletter that gives you trending and helpful articles and tips on following the Ramsey way. Just go to RamseySolutions.com today to sign up for our newsletter. Again, that's RamseySolutions.com to sign up for our weekly newsletter. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studio, it's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work they love, and create actual amazing relationships. I'm John Deloney, joined here by my good friend Jade Warshaw, and we are taking your calls on money, life, your marriage, what's going on in your workplace, whatever you got going on in your life, we got you. 888-825-5225. It's 888-825-5225. Let's go out to Eric in Philadelphia, where he was born and raised, in the playgrounds where he spent most of his days. Let's see here. What's up, Eric? How we doing?
Yes. Hi there, David. How are you?
I'm John. I'm sitting in for Dave today, but I'm doing great.
Oh, okay.
How are you?
Good to hear, John. I want to let you know I'm a big fan of your show. I like your show, and I've been following your advice. Long story short, I don't want to get into it, the full scenario. If we need to do that, then I'll need to sit with an advisor. But I'm low income, and I filed for bankruptcy about 3 years ago, which I know you're against that, but it was the best thing that could happen to me because I learned a financial lesson. I, as a result of being low income, do not want to own a car. I do not want to lease a car. That is completely off the table. And I received professional advice against doing that, and I'm fully agreeing with that. I also agree with Dave's advice about not bothering with credit cards because that's off the table. What I was advised to do was to rent a car from Enterprise when you need it because my insurer and my other advisors told me you want to be the type of person that you want to use the car, but when the car's done, you hand it over and say it's your problem now. You want to take the damage waiver out and everything. I normally advise against that, but in your case, I'm for it. However, as you know, for those car rental places, it contradicts Dave's advice, and you need a credit card to rent from them, and I don't want a credit card. Is there any tactic or way of advisement to get around it? Because I'm bankrupt, and it would cost me more for a credit card, obviously, to get the bankrupt card that I don't want to begin with than it would be worth, but it's more feasible to rent the car. What do I do? Because it contradicts what Dave tells me.
Let me tell you this first. You've been through hell and back, haven't you?
Yes, long story short.
So what I want to tell you is just guy to guy, friend to friend now. I'm glad you're back and you've been through it and you've got more advice and people jawing at you and people coming after you. It's been a rough season, and I want you to know I'm grateful for your call and I'm grateful for these boundaries you're putting in place in your life.
Yes.
There's gonna come.
I'm grateful that you've been able to take my call because I haven't been able to get through to the show. And today I just decided randomly I'll try it. Luckily I got through. I'm more grateful that you took the call.
Well, that's awesome. So there's long story short, I travel all over the country. I'm gone probably a week and a half, sometimes 2 weeks a month. I rent cars all over the nation, and I don't have a credit card. I use my debit card.
I have a comment about that, but I'll let you continue.
Okay. I do have on the debit card that I travel with, I do have space, and so I am fortunate that if they put a $300 hold or whatever, that's okay. I'm okay with that. I know not everybody's in that situation. Okay. I want to go back before, and by the way, and I've also run into trouble. I was just telling Jade off air, we were talking about this, and I said, I one time was sitting at a car rental counter in Dallas, Texas, and I looked at the person working and I said, can you please figure out a way that I can give you my money? I'm trying to pay you. And she would, it was such a mess. And I ended up having to leave, and I had to go to another counter. They took my money right away and had me in a car within 2 minutes, and we were out the door. That said, I really want to challenge the wisdom. And again, you've got people working with you, and you and I have known each other for 90 seconds now.
Right.
I want to challenge the wisdom that you are taking a very expensive way to get yourself around.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And I'd only do it occasionally. That's the thing. And when I want to go expensive, I like to go luxury because it's only occasional.
Eric, are you still walking through the bankruptcy, or is it complete? Like, was it Chapter 7?
It's finalized. The Chapter 7, it's finalized, good, done, it's gone, and I'm proud of it. I wouldn't want to do it any other way.
Okay.
It's basically, and I'm cash only.
And so where are you at now with your income?
I'm just low income. I'm in housing type situation.
Okay, how much? Or if you don't feel comfortable saying it, that's fine, but I'd like to be able to help you as accurately as possible.
How much, what do you need to know?
I wanted to know what you're earning a month, because I want to find out your debt is gone, everything's been liquidated. I want to know what you're left with and kind of what your plan going forward is, because I agree with John. Renting cars is not sustainable. You're going to spend more on the long haul. You can get a cash car at some point, not today, but we want to get you on a plan that's going to be sustainable.
And you keep referring to yourself as low income as though it's an identity.
It's not who you are.
I want to disagree with that's not who you are, brother. That's where you find yourself right now, but that's not who you are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Basically, I get $800 a month, and my portion of rent is $300, and then housing's portion. And basically, the rest of the money goes on whatever else necessary: food, groceries, my transit card, things like that. It's basically gone by the time it makes there after the bills.
Are you on disability? Are you unable to work?
It's a long story, but yes, I don't want to get into that situation on the air. If you want to speak with me about it or connect me with an advisor, I can get into that portion, but yes.
We definitely want to do that. We definitely want to get you connected with somebody that can help you financially. And I'm going to have Austin pick up afterwards, because there's a lot more to this. And
yes, and I agree, but I just, it's time constraining for the show. I'm trying to get right to the point without going on.
Sure,
well, then this is the fact. What John said, you're going to run into an issue with that, because when you do use a debit card, they're saying, hey, yeah, we'll do this, but you're a liability to us. So they're going to charge a lot more on your card. They're going to put those holds on there. If you're going from place to place, sometimes they'll even say, like, you've got to show us your ticket. If you're flying somewhere, your ticket here and your ticket returning. Like they make it hard for people who honestly just want to pay cash for things. They do. And so in your situation where your income is so limited, I don't believe that this is the best possible thing for you long term, but in the short term, do know that you are going to run into those problems.
And I know you mentioned you do like to do luxury when you do it. It's not a season for luxury right now. I totally get that sentiment and that feeling. That's just not the season you're in right now. And here's the thing, Jay, this is a choice I made. Kind of like if I've got a diet restriction, I'm always doing these weird diets, and I go to you and Sam's house for dinner. I'm not going to impose that on you guys. I get to make choices about what I mean, because that's on me.
Yeah.
So when I go to a rental car counter, I'm not mad at them. They're making my life hard, but I chose this no credit life.
That's right,
and
John.
And so be it, man. I'm not going to lose sleep because y'all don't want my business, right?
I know that's right. Good point.
All right, this is The Ramsey Show. We'll be right back. 888-825-5225.
If you're like most people, your home is your most valuable asset. And when you want to make improvements, it can feel like everything costs too much or takes too long. But something as simple as custom window coverings from Blinds.com can completely change your space and add value to your home. We've recommended Blinds.com for over a decade, so you know you can trust them. From blinds, drapes, and shutters to motorized shades, they make it easy and affordable to upgrade your entire home, and their team is ready to help with everything from design consultation to measuring and installation. Plus, there are never any misleading quotes or hidden fees. Everything's backed by their 100% satisfaction guarantee, and shipping is always free. See why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. Visit Blinds.com to save up to 45% off everything site-wide. Go to Blinds.com now to learn more.
Hey, what's up, America? If you're a new listener and you want to dive deeper into the Ramsey baby steps, go to RamseySolutions.com and click on the Get Started button. Everyone's always calling, asking us, where are we? How do I know what step I'm in? We got you. We got you. We'll help you figure out the best next step for your financial journey based on exactly where you are today. Go to RamseySolutions.com and click on Get Started. All right, we got question of the day. Today's question comes from Rachel in Utah.
Cool. My question is, how can I combine finances as a newly married couple? It's his second marriage. When your spouse has no budgeting discipline and has no limits to giving his children money frivolously. I have good credit and we discussed these things before marriage. I feel trapped. Ooh-wee, John, I feel like there's some stuff beneath the surface here.
I'll say it like this is a question you should have, not a question. Y'all discussed these things before marriage.
My guy flipped the script.
You never made any decisions before marriage, and y'all didn't come up with any plans before marriage, and y'all didn't have any ideas. You probably had a conversation over lunch like, hey, budgeting's a big deal, and yeah, sure, that's cool. And y'all never made one. Y'all never sat down and said, hey, well, what do we want our marriage to look like in 10 years? And what do we have to do? What do we have to start doing right now so that we can be there in 10 years?
Yeah. Well, there's also this side to it where he's giving his children money frivolously. And I want to know more about that because that's from his previous marriage. Maybe there's something there where he's like, this is all I can do to like.
And maybe this is somebody that's never had kids and this money isn't frivolous at all. This is what it costs to raise kids. So who knows? Rachel, these are all questions you should have asked before you got married, and you should have been super clear. And here's the deal. You have married somebody with kids. Great. That's awesome. That means you have made a choice. You chose to be in some sort of relationship with his ex-wife forever.
Forever.
You have chosen to participate in the raising of two kids that are not biologically yours forever. Those are just choices you made. And so don't go to war with those. You also chose to marry somebody who's super immature with money. You knew this before you said, I do. You did. And so what you can do moving forward is one of two things. I would start with number one, which is to sit down and say, we are a few months in, we're a year into this new marriage, and I'm scared to death and I can't breathe. I can't breathe because I don't know how much money we have. I don't know where it's going. I want to own a home someday with you. I want to build a life. I want to be able to share in this adventure that we both signed up for. And the way money is leaking out our back door, it scares me to death and I can't move. Can you help me, please? I don't feel safe. That's number one. That, by the way, that's making the entire issue not his fault, not he's got no discipline and that's about you and what you're feeling and what your body is trying to get your attention for, right? That's number one. Number two, if he looks at you and says, listen, honey, I'm never going to not give my kids money, ever, ever, ever. I'm not budgeting. Budgeting is stupid. Then I classify that. I think we often, when it comes to marital fidelity, we often get laser focused in on sex. And I think fidelity is a much bigger picture about how you treat the person you're married to. And so this is somebody who is choosing to not be in a relationship with you. And at some point, you become unsafe, and you're going to have to either create an account that is yours that you can begin to plan a budget for, you take yourself to counseling, or you got to start deciding, is this marriage safe overall? Because usually, Jade, in situations like this, there's something else going on.
It sounds like there is. Honestly, when I look at it, I try to see the best in things, John.
I always go to the dark.
You went to the dark side quick, but I'll pull it back for us who were kind of like, maybe it's not that bad. I kind of feel like there might have just been a difference in vocabulary. Like
the pictures
what
and
words
right?
mean. What words mean? What does frivolous mean? What does budgeting mean? You know what I mean? And I think that sometimes you have those conversations early on and you kind of just don't know what you don't know. It's like, oh yeah, budgeting. I grew up with that. Yeah, I budget. And then it's like, but like Dave Ramsey budgeting is different from, you know what I mean? The budgeting some of us grew up with. So I think there could be just the lines are crossed. Only she knows really what's going on. But I think when you have those conversations and you approach it from, instead of approaching it from, I'm mad at you, I'm angry with you, but kind of from like, I'm scared. Yeah. I think that if you're a good guy and your woman is telling you she's scared, if it doesn't disarm you, like, she should go. Right. I'm not saying go to counseling. There we go. Okay. There you go. John, you're throwing bombs, bro. You've got a great perspective. There's this. It's an old counseling adage that we speak in pictures, but we think in words. Mm-hmm. And how often my wife and I like, hey, I'm going to be home late for dinner tonight. Yeah. Great. Late for me, I know my calendar. I know that my last meeting and media hit is 8:00 tonight. Exactly. Late for her is 5:15. Yeah. Right? Yep. And so she had a picture of what late was. I had a picture of what late was. And we both used the word late, but we missed each other. And so maybe it may be because you're a better person than me. Well, it is a matter of, hey, when we said you were going to give money to your kids, I didn't realize it was $1,000. I thought it was $50. And I think that who knows? I'm looking at the words newly married, and that's kind of where my ring is going off, because that first year, you don't know what you're doing. Dude, I'm 20 years. I'm still still know what I'm doing. Okay. I had this thought the other day. Do we have time for this? I had this thought the other day. I was like, okay, a kid, when we raise our kids, they're in our home until they're 18 years old, and we're just teaching them how to just be in the world, right? They don't know anything. And then after that, then you get married. And you think that somehow in 1 year, in a couple months, you're going to be good to go. And it's like, it took you 18 years to just learn how to exist in society without being a total jerk. And now we have to be married combined with a whole other person. And we think we're just going to just skate through it in like 1-2 years and then like be pros at it. Well, absolutely not. Especially when if our kids got married, your kids would have grown up in the Warshall house, 2 wonderful parents. My kids would have grown up in the Deloney house, 1 wonderful parent, 2 wonderful and me, parents. And they would have had very different understandings of how the world works and what relationships look like. Yes. And so they've got to figure out how not to recreate what they saw mom and dad do, for good or bad, but to create something new and magical for them. Yes. Right? And that just takes time. It takes time. So I'm looking at this from Rachel and I'm thinking, okay, you're newly married, and there's more dynamics to this than I don't want to say typical. There's more dynamics to this. Some people get married and it's just you and me for the first time ever, never lived together, and then some people get married and it's like, oh, I'm bringing 3 kids into the
This is his second dance, right?
Yeah, this is his second dance.
That's right.
So this is a lot here. Hopefully, Rachel, out of all of the hundreds of millions of things that we just said, you'll pull something out that is helpful to you. But give yourself a little bit of grace. Counseling, John, I love me some counseling. Christian counseling,
any
couples
kind of
counseling. Put me on.
Yeah, that's. I wouldn't be sitting here if it wasn't for good counseling. I just earlier today, after talking with my wife, I said I'll call my counselor, and she goes, "That's a good idea." That's a good idea. That was today. Absolutely.
I love it. Yes. That's so good.
What is? So let's say Rachel's husband sits down and says, "All right, I'm in. Let's do this budget thing." Okay. Where do they start?
Here's the thing. Once he says, let's do this budgeting thing, I think that's a great place to start. You find your budget, find something that's good. Here we kind of like to identify the personality types. Like, is she a spender? Is he a saver? Because if you can kind of identify that early on, you're kind of going to know those points of contention ahead of time. And so them working that budget together is going to tell each other a lot about each other. So it's like, if they sit down, maybe he says, all right, let's do this budget. And they sit down and she immediately sees that he's like, his eyes are like glazed over, tuning out. She can probably assume, okay, he's not a nerd.
Yeah.
He's a free spirit. He might be more of a spending type. And if she's like, oh my gosh, I love these numbers, I just love filling in the line items, then she's probably more of a nerd. She could be a saver or a spender, but doing the budget together tells you so much about each other, and you both need each other.
Yes.
The spender needs somebody who's going to balance them, who's a saver. You know, the free spirit needs somebody who's more of a nerd to keep them balanced. So it's a balancing act, it's a dance, but getting that budget together. And of course, you know, John, I'm talking about the baby steps all day. Work those baby steps.
There you go. All right, we'll be right back. 888-825-5225 on The Ramsey Show.
We've been doing business at Ramsey for more than 30 years. By now, we're a well-oiled machine, but it wasn't always that way. Yes, we've always had a vision, always had determination, and a drive to help people. But what we didn't have was one central place to access all our numbers so that we could get further ahead or quickly see when we needed to pivot. We were always jumping back and forth between different systems and spreadsheets. So when NetSuite by Oracle helped us wrangle our revenue, inventory, expenses, and more into one place, it was a game changer. And NetSuite's #1 cloud financial system can help your business gain the same visibility, because businesses thrive on timely data. And NetSuite's real-time analytics can help your business have immediate access to your numbers daily, so you always know where you stand and you can move quickly. So go to netsuite.com/Ramsey today and set up a free product tour. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey.
This is The Ramsey Show, 888-825-5225. I'm John Deloney, joined by Jade Warshaw, and we are taking your calls on your mental health, your marriage, your relationships, your money, whatever's going on. 888-825-5225. And for real, taxes are the worst. They're so confusing. And if you buy what some tax services out there say, you might think you'll never get a grasp on taxes, and you shouldn't even try, right? Everyone's telling you you're stupid. You don't... We think you're smarter than that here at Ramsey Solutions, and you deserve the truth. So here's today's tax tip. Are you ready? Don't let fear of owing the IRS stop you from filing your taxes early. Tax bills aren't due until April 18th, even if you file now. So filing early gives you time to make a plan and pull money together. Now, if you can't pay it all by the deadline, send what you can, then set up a payment plan with the IRS online. They can charge interest and penalties, though, so pay it off as quickly as possible. And to avoid this situation again, take a fresh look at what you're paying the IRS during the year. You may need to have more money withheld from your paycheck or make quarterly payments if you have a small business. You have questions? Talk with a Ramsey trusted pro, like one of our endorsed local providers or national partners. This is what I do because I don't know what I'm doing. They can walk you through your tax return and do the filing. Or if you're comfortable filing online, check out Ramsey Smart Tax. Federal filing is just $19.95 right now, so there's no hidden fees. And Jade, I'll tell you this, the last few years, I've done Ramsey Smart Tax. This year it got more complicated, messy, so I called the Ramsey Trusted Pro.
Yeah.
All along the way, dude, they've made it so easy for me.
Yeah.
And it takes all the drama out of it, right? So go to RamseySolutions.com/tax to learn more and file with confidence. That's RamseySolutions.com/tax. Let's go to JT in the 505 out in Albuquerque. What's up, JT?
This is John and Jade.
That's it. What's up, man?
Thank you guys for taking my call. I appreciate it.
Absolutely,
100.
my brother. What's up?
So I'm in a situation which I'm very fortunate to be in, but I bought a foreclosure about 5-6 years ago, and I've redone everything from the floors to the ceilings, put in running water and heat. It's security for my son and my wife and I.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a part of me that's wondering if I should sell it and kind of use the money to do other things, like maybe start a business or go into something else besides property, which I know is very secure, but at the same time, I don't feel like the opportunity that I want or she wants is here in New Mexico. And, we're just kind of trying to figure out if we should sell this place.
When you say security, are you saying secure like you've got your own home, or do you have another house somewhere and this is just a project?
No, this is my primary residence, and
Is it paid for?
It is.
Okay. What's it worth?
I got it for $30, and I can probably sell it for about $150.
And do you want to leave New Mexico?
I think so. Between water security over the next 50 years and, trying to find opportunity, I think it's time. I'm sure my parents and her parents don't feel the same way, but...
Because you guys have kids, or?
One kid.
Okay.
How old are you, man?
I'm 28.
28. So, JT, Jade will walk you through the math part of this, but let me, man, in a lot of ways, I feel like I'm talking to myself 10 or 15 years ago. I had created quite an anxious life for myself and for my family. Financially, I was working way too much. I owed too much. I wanted a life that looked like X and Y and Z, and every time I got close to it, then I moved, the finish line moved on me, right? And then I started looking at, I was in West Texas, so I was right down the road from you. And I was looking at, well, what about this? And if this happens, and then in 25 years, this might happen, and the Ogallala is going to go dry. I started creating these catastrophes. And what happened in short order is my body started reacting to those catastrophes as though they were happening right now, even though they were all could-be's, might-be's, maybes, even probablys of the next 50 or 100 years. And what happened in my home, at least, and I'll just say this, in the home of thousands of other people I've worked with over the last decade, is people around me started feeling electric because I was hard to be around, because I was always predicting the next bad thing and the next thing, what about this, and what about this? And then I'm working and then I'm trying to earn my worth, and it just created a mess. I was very hard to be married to, not because I was a bad guy, but because I could never see the sun come up. And so here's what I'm going to tell you. I think you could sell this house and y'all could move to another place, but you're going to move to another place and you're going to have gone with you. And that same anxiety and that same stress and that same, I got to work, because it's all coming down, that guy's going with you, man. And it wasn't until I completely unhooked from all the nonsense and went and got myself some help and went and got myself around some people that I knew loved me, some other men in my life that were my friends that I could just go spend. Like, it took me years to heal. And now I really believe with all my heart I could pretty much move wherever, because I've built a non-anxious life for me and my family. Is that ringing a bell? Tell me I'm crazy.
No, that's hitting home pretty hard.
Okay. All right. So, dude, I mean, I would not. You are one of the few people in the history of the world to have a paid-for home. I don't think that Jay, tell me if I'm crazy. I would not risk my family's primary home on something that might happen in 50 years, and I'm going to start a business that's going to be my exit strategy.
It just sounded like you were not clear on what the path forward was, and so I don't want to run from something. If I'm running, I want to know exactly what I'm running to.
Right.
And I want to have a very clear plan that's thought out, that is not based on fear, that's not based on a series of what ifs. Do you know what I'm saying? I want to make sure that it's something that is worthwhile.
Yeah.
And that's just, I know John is hitting the mental health side of it. That's a financial side of it, is what's the plan? We're not going to just go, oh, let's sell our house. It would be cool if we could start some kind of a business. Does that make sense? And maybe there's more legs to it that you didn't explain here on the air, but it kind of felt haphazard. Am I wrong?
You know, it is. I mean, I don't have like a specific plan yet, but I got things I'm trying to weigh out. So,
yeah, so let's wait.
Yeah, you've got a body that's electric, my brother. This sense that I've got to keep moving. If I stop moving, it's going to catch me, whatever it is. And hey, one of my best friends in the world is a water law professor. I know how bad it is. It doesn't look good. Like, I'll be honest. Like, I'm with you. And is selling my family's primary home right now with a young kid. Is this the path out? Or it sounds like a desperate, scary, I'm just going to start sprinting and hopefully I get to somewhere wherever I'm going.
Yeah, I'd say that sounds pretty accurate, and it does sound kind of foolish when you put it that way.
What's your wife saying? I'm just curious. What's your wife saying about this, JT?
You know, she's kind of down for whatever. She's ready to leave, but, you know, again, it's paid off, so we have the security, but there's lack of opportunity. And so, you know, we just kind of keep ping-ponging back and forth and really kind of getting nowhere, it feels like.
JT, you just said it, man. When somebody tells me that their wife is, quote-unquote, down for whatever, you know what that means? She's tired of fighting you. She's hanging on.
Damn, that hit home, too.
Woo!
Okay.
Woo! Come on, John.
So listen. Hey, I want you to hang on the line. I'm going to send you a copy of Own Your Past, Change Your Future. It's my book. I want you to read it. I'm going to send you Redefining Anxiety, too. I'm going to send you both those books. And tonight, I want you to take your wife out for Valentine's dinner and say, honey, for the first time, before we make any plans, we start running things and selling things, I'm going to go talk to a counselor for the first time. And I'm going to commit to get myself well and stable, and then we're going to start making some long-term plans together. But I'm in this for the long haul with you, and I love you, and I'm going to get myself well. Start there, my brother. I'm proud of you, and thank you for the call. We'll be right back on The Ramsey Show. It's Valentine's Day.
Cue the sappy love song.
No, dude. Cue the big bags of gummy candy, man.
Gummy candy, not chocolate. Come on, John.
I have eaten my body weight in gummy candies today. Somebody brought in some gummy heart things, and I'm not going to go to the bathroom for like 3 weeks. I've got a lot of gummy candy in my body. Okay, listen. We've got Valentine's Day pickup lines, and hey, I didn't know we have all these Ramsey dating groups, so we'll tell you all about them. Our very own Chris Russell and Will Smith came up with the top 10 Ramsey pickup lines.
Not the Will Smith.
Not the Will Smith. We have our own.
We have our own.
We have Will Smith 3.0. He's awesome. Dude's awesome. All right, you go first.
All right. Why are you going to make me say this one first? The first pickup line is this. You're finer than the print on George Camel's podcast.
Oh, gross.
That's insider.
It is insider. All right. You're so hot, my debt snowball is melting.
Woo! Love it. Love that one.
If
Sam Warshaw said that to me, I'm closing the door. and he's going to be on the other side of it. That's all I'm saying. I'm slamming the door in his face.
Oh, man.
All right. If I had $1 for every time I thought of you, I'd be a baby steps millionaire, girl.
Gross.
Come through.
Good thing I just got term life insurance, because when I saw you, my heart stopped.
Oh, Lord.
How did... These two guys work at our... Oh, my gosh. All right.
I'm okay. When I saw you, Stop. When I saw you, my jaw dropped like the value of a new car. Woo, we know that's 60%.
All right, I'm in on that one. I like that one.
Okay.
I'm making my will, and I'm making my will, and I want to list you as a beneficiary. I need your phone number.
Dude, that's just creepy.
That is kind of gross.
That's just weird. All right. Oh, gosh. The good news, I'm debt-free. The better news, I'm also date-free. I don't know. I don't know about that one. That's a head scratcher.
No, I'm in for that.
I'm date-free. What does that mean? You don't... What is...
I don't know.
I don't know. Okay. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, it's more something you would tell your buddy. Like, hey, man.
I don't have a date.
I don't have a date.
I've got money, but I ain't got a girl. Okay.
What's up, ladies? Is your name Fannie Mae? Because you've got my interest.
Woo!
Oh, my
gosh. Okay.
Wow.
Okay. I'm falling for you faster than the price of Bitcoin.
I like that one.
Oh yeah, that's salty though.
I'm in for that.
That's a little salty as well.
And now I think officially across the country, we only have 7 people still listening to this show. They've moved on to other programming. For you 7 who are left, I got you. The final Ramsey pickup line. It's tax season. Want to file jointly?
We could save hundreds.
We could save dozens of dollars together. All right, hey, so
gosh.
There's a Ramsey dating groups. Singles, divorcees struggling to find people to date who are like-minded when it comes to money and finances. People are posting to Ramsey Baby Steps Millionaires Face group for advice. Group members pointed people to different Dave Ramsey online dating groups. People looking for connection on their financial and love journey.
I'm not mad at that.
No, dude, I'm all in. I'm all in.
Yeah, I think if you're dating, look, when I was dating, I didn't know about money the way I know about now. But you want to marry somebody. I mean, we talk about it all the time. Who's on the same page as you, or that you're going in the same direction,
right? And
you have the same values surrounding money and how you spend it. So. That's good.
I can't think of something that was further from my mind when I was dating. So I wish I had that much foresight.
Look, I can't say that I won at life with this because, y'all know how much debt we came in with. And let me just tell you, can I just say this real quick? When Sam and I were dating, not engaged, we didn't talk about money at all. I did notice a couple of things. I noticed he put gas on a credit card once and I was like, oh, that's interesting. Not that I was smart with money. I just noticed that. Then when we got married was the first time we really talked about it. And when he told me how much student loan debt he had, oh Lord, y'all, thank God Sam Warshaw is good looking. This man is a snack, but his debt, when it came in, I was like, okay. And then we paid it off.
Dude,
but talk about these things ahead of time.
The number of times my wife said, God help you, I'm so glad you're good looking. That's exactly right there.
Okay. Look, it does help. You can't be out here looking like a catcher's mitt, coming through with $300,000 of debt too. You got to have one or the other.
All right. So Dave Ramsey online dating, a couple thousand members, Dave Ramsey dating group. Okay. And by the way, this isn't for dating Dave. He is spoken for. This is people who are like-minded, who are following baby steps.
Yeah, because y'all don't want to fight with Sharon Ramsey.
Dave, I wouldn't. Dave Ramsey Christian Dating, bless this hot mess with several hundred members. Dave Ramsey's Baby Steppers dating page.
Okay.
And here are some questions to ponder. Jade, let's rapid fire these. What do you think? Okay. When should you start talking about money with someone you're dating?
If you think you might get engaged soon.
You don't think before that?
Okay. Now you're making me... I thought this was rapid fire. Okay. I will change...
It's like Matrix rapid fire. It's coming out fast, but it's really slow.
Stop and think and not be rapid. I think that when you start seeing, okay... there's the basic things that I like about this person. Let's take it the next layer deep. Because at first it's all right, they're kind. They've got, they're integral. It's those base level stuff. They've got good character. Now let's take it a step deeper. And I'm observing. Now I'm observing.
You're just commenting on actions, behaviors you're seeing.
Yeah, I'm observing. Oh, they paid for their gas with a credit card. Interesting.
Or you keep
You didn't tip well?
Yeah, that's a
Interesting.
big one.
You're stingy?
Or you keep not taking me to a restaurant. You keep getting macaroni and cheese at home.
No, we would have been finished. We would have been done. The first offense, no 3 strikes on that one.
All right, when do you share your debt?
When you're married.
Okay. So,
but you talk about it.
Yeah.
Beforehand.
But not so when you're just dating or you get engaged. All right, we're gonna start sharing our debt.
No, when you're engaged, I think if you both have debt, start paying on it separately.
Mm-hmm.
Or if one side of it has debt, I think it shows really good faith for them to be like, hey, I know I'm bringing this into the marriage, especially if you've spoken about it. I'm gonna start paying it off now.
Awesome.
And then when you get together, you combine forces and you can't be stopped.
Right. When do you talk about what are your money goals? Are they aligned? I like this. Let me ask. I like this one less about. My wife and I have had this conversation recently, and our SmartVestor Pro has reached out to say, "Hey, we need to have just a catch up conversation. The market was bananas last year, and I don't think my wife and I have ever sat down and said, what are our money goals? I think we've sat down and said, what do we want our life to look like? What does security look like for us? Where do we want to live? What kind of home do we want to have for our kids to come home to? And it's been so that particular phrase is not something that's spoken to us, but the idea that we're going to talk about where we want to go and how we're going to get there.
I love that.
Is how we. So it's all. I think the idea of what does life look like for you? What do you want this thing to look like when it's all said and done for you? Knowing that when you're 19, it's going to look different, or you're 25, it's going to look different.
You're reading my mail on that because I rarely just set goals.
Yeah,
I'm strictly based on values. I'm like, what do we value in our life?
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to money, I think that's a phenomenal way to approach it. Mm-hmm. Do we value maybe the wife values being able to stay home with the kids?
Right.
Maybe. And I think that when you do have those conversations, approaching it from that, there's so much more tied to it. Yeah. It's not just like, oh, I want to have $30,000. Like, that's great. Like, that's a goal to check off on that list, on that path toward those values that you cherish. But yeah, I love that, John. That's so
if your money goal is not tied to values or not tied to a picture of how you want your life to be, I cannot emphasize this enough. You will have $1 million net worth and you will be as hollow as an old rotted log.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Or you can have $500,000, you can have $100,000, and you're leaning into your values and goals, and your life will be incredible. It'll be extraordinary, right? So tie those things to your goals. Valentine's Day, good folks, this is your last warning. Make sure you don't forget if you have forgotten. Take care of your loved ones. This is The Ramsey Show, another hour in the books. We'll see you soon.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jade. If you love the show and want a deeper dive on your money journey, we have a weekly newsletter that gives you trending and helpful articles and tips on following the Ramsey way. Just go to RamseySolutions.com today to sign up for our newsletter. Again, that's RamseySolutions.com to sign up for our weekly newsletter.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studio, it's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do the work they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Give us a buzz at 888-825-5225. I'm John Deloney, joined by my good friend Jade Warshaw, and we have set this place on fire, and we are taking your calls on money, life, your mental health, your marriage, whatever's going on, we got you. 888-825-5225. Let's go out to Eric in Long Island, New York. What's up, Eric?
Hey, John, how are you? Hey, Jade, happy Valentine's Day.
What's going on?
We're
How
doing
you doing?
great, my man. What's happening?
So I have a question, okay? I'm retired. I'm 53 years old. My wife is 55. She still works. I make about $100,000 being retired, and she makes about close to the same, about 80, 85. So my whole life I've always saved, put money into my 401s and everything like that. Right now, I got like $1.5 million in there. She's got about $1 million, maybe a little bit more in hers. So between the two of us, we got close to $3 million in retirement funds. We have 2 kids. Our kids' colleges are, we saved up enough money for that. I got about $100,000 in the bank right now. I have 2 houses with mortgages, and I have 3 cars with car payment. Fortunately for me, I can withdraw from my 401. It's really not a 401, but similar.
What is it?
It's a 457 without penalty.
So you don't have to be a certain age?
Nope. Yeah, well, I had to be 50 when I retired.
Yeah.
So
You are the poorest wealthy man I've spoken to in a long time.
Okay.
Yes. So my
I love that
problem
statement.
is that I got 3 car payments that are kind of killing me. And,
Why? Why would you do this to yourself? You're too smart. You're a multimillionaire.
Yeah, the problem is not your car payments. The problem is you keep choosing debt when you don't have to.
Why do you have 2 houses?
Well, one's a rental. It's a positive thing.
No, it's not.
It's taking your soul from you.
Well, I mean, it does pay for itself and then some. So I do make something off of it. It's not like it's costing me any money. I just manage it. But it makes me about $1,500 a month. I mean, after all said and done.
You're saying it's not costing you anything, but you're calling in this show.
I promise.
It's costing you something. Okay, let's talk. We beat you up enough. Let's talk a little bit. Okay.
No, I love you, Eric, because you're so good. You've done it so. You know what you are, Eric? You're America in all the best ways, and all of you have made it. You've done so great. Clearly, you're excellent at your trade. You're excellent at managing money. And then you do the dumbest stuff right on top of it. And it's like, wow, man. Oh, man. Okay.
You have too much. Bottom line, I'm just going to shoot you straight. You make too much money. You have too much of a net worth to have this much debt and to be treating your money this way. So let's change it. You guys have got, like you said, almost $3 million in your retirement. I heard you say you had $100,000 saved, just liquid.
Yes, we got $100,000 saved. Well, probably more than that now. Probably like 130.
Okay.
Or something like that. But that, and I got another 300 saved for just my 2 kids' college fund.
Okay, and that's the college. Okay.
And they're in college, so that's kind of going quickly. Both of them are in college right now, and that's kind of going quickly. But
so let's talk about these 3 cars. How much go through each of them and tell me what you owe on each of the 3.
I owe one we just bought was my wife's car, and I owe about $48 on it.
I'm curtailing my feelings right now, big time. I need you to know it. Keep going. 48. You just bought it this year. Keep going.
The other one is my daughter's, but they both use it. I only have 1 car, and I owe about $20 on that. And then my truck that I drive, I owe about $35.
I'm sorry. Can you go back to the daughters? Are they paid for? You said they both use it?
They both use it. Yeah, they both use it. I only got 1 car for them, and they switch on and off.
Is that the $20,000 one?
Yes.
Got it. Okay, that's for the girls. Okay.
So you have cash right now to pay all these off today.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you not?
Well, that was my question. I wanted to just take. I didn't want to touch that to me is like my emergency fund and that $100,000. I didn't want to touch that.
Well, you do need an emergency fund, but you only need 3 to 6 months. And
no, I get it, but being that, so my question to you guys is, being that I can withdraw from my retirement fund, would it be easier just to take the $100,000 out, pay the cars off, be done with them? I have no credit card bills.
No.
And just live my life that way.
Leave your retirement. If you cash out your retirement right now, you are locking in
losses.
A crazy down market.
Oh God!
Why would you do that?
You'd have to take out $100,000.
I know, but when am I going to be able to use that money? I mean, when I'm 70 years old and sitting in a wheelchair, stuffing carrots through a straw? I actually,
you know what?
No good to
I
me.
actually think that's a great question that we need to spend more time on. I think there is a absolute there's absolute conversation to be had around waiting until we have all this money at the end. I get you, but you have $120,000 in cash.
Here's the thing. Here's what I truly, truly think that you need to do, Eric. I want you to pay these cars off, and I want you to feel it. And when you pull it from your savings, you are going to feel it. If you pull it from a $1 million fund that you have, you're not going to feel it. And you're going to go, whoop, that was easy. And then I'm going to see you at the dealership again next year buying a 2024 car. And I'm going to be angry with you like I am right now. I want you to feel the pain of this and go, dang it, I am never going to do that again. That was so stupid. Because here's the thing. You got to feel it. And I want you to stop this behavior, and I want you to stop it right now. Now, that $48K vehicle, I know it was a brand new car. Pay it off. Keep it and pay it off. You got $1 million net worth. I'm not telling you to sell anything. Keep 3 to 6 months of savings, pay off the cars, and get out of debt for good.
For good. And yes, have the conversation about, hey, what do we want to do with this money? As like, do we want to go on vacations? Do we want to pay off this rental home that we're one weird policy in New York, now that y'all have ever had weird government policies in New York, from not being able to have renters, or we have to kick them out, or we can't charge rent anymore, whatever is coming. Pay your thing off, man. Pay your house off. You have too much net worth to have this much debt. Pay it off, man. Pay it off. And be free. This is The Ramsey Show. We'll be right back. Hey, we got this article, it's just a couple days ago off of Yahoo Finance. Inflation's taken quite a toll. We know that. Half of Americans say their personal financial situations are worse now than they were a year ago, more than any time since the Great Recession. But there's something deeper. According to a Gallup survey released Wednesday, which asked 1,000 adults across the U.S. about their past and future finances, not only is this the first time since 2008, 2009 that at least 50% of Americans report feeling worse off financially than they were a year ago, it's the only time aside from those 2 years that that many have responded negatively since they started asking questions in 1976. Wow. And while economists are still torn on whether we're heading towards a recession and the unemployment rate stands at a 53-year low, I just want to put that in context. When you're having a debate, when academics, and I don't say that pejoratively, that's my background, when thinkers are saying, well, is it a recession or is it not? That means things haven't fallen off a cliff. That means things are tough, things are messy, things are not as we want them to be. But it's not 2008 and 2009. Yeah. And it doesn't take a financial expert. We've got rising interest rates, right? Then we've got the Fed jacking with things, and prospective home buyers have been driven from the market. Credit card debt is more expensive. Public layoffs at high-profile companies. So here's what I'm hearing, Jade. There's a ton of media messages screaming at everybody, telling them that this is the end of time. Yep. And it's just not the end of time. In fact, if you keep saying it enough, we will run this sucker into the ditch and make it the end of time.
You're reading my mind right now.
Gotta stop.
I'm going to take a page out of your playbook. Turn the news off.
Turn it off. Turn it off.
Turn it off, because my guy, John, is exactly right. It's playing into your mindset. if you hear that over and over and over, doom and gloom, we can't get ahead, inflation, it's driving up our grocery prices, da-da-da-da. And I'm not saying that people aren't feeling a pinch and that people aren't struggling. I'm not saying that, but there's a difference between going, like, just wallowing in that daily, because you start to succumb to fearful practice, and you start doing things like taking out HELOCs and thinking, oh, the only way I'm going to get a car is to get a, I have to pay this $717 a month. It's the only way because car prices are, and you start doing the dumb stuff that goes along with all of that.
Right.
When it's like, okay, let me take a break here.
Yeah.
And like pull back and go, okay, I can't solve inflation. I can't solve what's going on at the White House. I can't solve the job market. But me is a problem I can solve.
Yep.
Right? You is a problem you can
time.
solve.
That's right. And hear me say this, no amount of watching the news is going to bring down the price of eggs. No amount of watching the news and doom scrolling is going to bring down the prices of gas. And so I can go to the grocery store and listen, what we had to cut out in my house? I hate to even say it, bacon. You know what I love more than most things in the world? Bacon. But it's $111 a package now.
Yeah.
So I stopped. And the moment my wife said, hey, bacon's so expensive. And I was like, let's just cut it out, man.
And what's wrong with that?
But here's the deal. Once I made that choice, any second I spend thinking about it, whining about it, complaining about it, watching the news about it is a choice to be miserable.
It's a choice to be
stupid.
Oh, I love that, John.
I just said, hey, let's cut it out. It's too expensive right now. I'm then going on about my day. I'm not going to give some media company the opportunity to make me miserable. Does that make sense?
I'm giving you a slow clap.
I'm done with it.
Because I said the same thing the other day. You go into the grocery store, you see the price of eggs, and you want to go on social media, you want to tell everybody, oh my gosh, the price of eggs was da-da-da-da-da. You want to freak out about it. Buy a bagel. Can you just buy a bagel?
Yes.
Can you get some cereal?
Yes.
That's all I'm saying. And please don't mishear me.
I've got 10 chickens. Get chickens.
Don't mishear me. There's a single mom that is crying every
Can't
night.
breathe. That's right.
She can't breathe. But there is a vast majority of us, we just like to get on the bandwagon of crazy town. Like whatever the news is talking about, you're just texting your buddy, you're sending Fox News links. I love Fox News, by the way, but you're sending Fox News links to everyone you know, the worst possible stories. And they found another China balloon. They found another, what does that mean? Go buy gold. You're like going bananas.
Yeah. And all you're doing is disconnecting yourself from your family, your community, your friends. And here's the worst part. We're not solving the problems.
What if you just opened up your budget and went, okay, deep breath. We're over $300. Where can we find it? Okay. Maybe, Susie is taking piano lessons, bass guitar lessons, jiu-jitsu lessons. Maybe we can cut out one of those for now. Okay. We're spending this much on groceries. What can we do? Maybe we can start buying some bagels. Maybe we can cool it out. Or hey, maybe honey, I can pick up a little bit of extra hours.
That's right. We had this plan for 2023. We were going to spend more time together. Life threw us a curveball. And so I'm going to have to go pick up another Uber shift for a season.
That's right.
We're going to have to stop buying this thing that we love. We're going to have to punt that vacation. Let's go ahead and tell our parents now that we're not coming in this summer for that trip because we can't afford it. We were going to buy a house. We wanted to buy a house this August so bad.
It hurts.
It's not going to happen. Let's just sit in that sadness. Let's be brokenhearted together. Let's go for a long walk together. Let's figure it out. And then we're going to see what it looks like around Christmas of next year.
That's right.
Any choice other than those choices is a choice to be miserable. Stop doing that to ourselves.
So good, John. Key word that you said, it's a season.
Yeah.
And it's a season. If anybody listening is like, maybe you're not the one that's like just loves crazy. Some people just love drama. Can we just say that? Maybe you're not the one that loves drama. If you're really going through it, just hear us say it's a season. It's a season and you'll get through this. I promise you, if you just take a clear head, sit down and look at the controllables and control your controllables, you will get through this. I promise you that.
And reach out to folks when you need the help. Reach out. That's the other thing I got, and we'll move on because I can talk about this all day.
I could too.
The more that we are pumping this into our heads, into our eyes and our ears about how awful everything is, it's a natural psychological tendency. My gaze goes to my own belly button. How can I protect me and mine? And when your body feels like it's scared, it's instantly, it's a protective measure, but it divides the world up between us's and them's. And I miss that single mom who can't breathe, who's trying to figure out how to buy groceries because I'm too busy thinking it's all coming down. Instead of keeping my eyes up and looking at people in my neighborhood, in my community, in my grocery line, that I can reach in there and say, I got you, ma'am. I got you.
So good.
And that's what neighbors do. That's what communities do. And the more we're like, everything's on fire, it takes a very special person to override your psychology and look around for others in the midst of a fire, right? So turn the news off, turn the mess off, get the news you need and get out, right?
Get in, get out. John, what you said is so good. If you're listening to this, because some people are kind of flying above the storm right now.
Uh-huh.
And that if that's you, that's a great place to be. We all should aspire to that. Like when 2008 comes, when COVID comes, man, I hear Dave say it all the time. What a great place to be when you're just a spectator, right? And if you're listening to this show and you're a spectator, buy somebody's groceries tonight.
Yeah. On the way home, look at somebody who's trying to fill up with gas and they're looking through their purse for coins.
Yeah.
And just put your debit card in and get it.
And ask no questions. And don't look at them all weird. Just put your card in and walk away.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
That's right. Stop looking at your own belly button and start looking up around at your neighbors, man. And you're going to find a whole different take on this. It's all coming down.
You know, I was reading a book the other day and it said, history doesn't repeat itself, people do.
And so history is this other thing that's operating?
I mean, we're the ones that drives it, right? Yeah. So in a time like this, I'm like, people are, what does it say? Americans are feeling worse about their money since the Great Recession. Okay. Stop doing the dumb things that people did during the Great Recession. Don't do it again. Don't be the people who repeat themselves. That makes history repeat itself. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Do something different.
Hey, you know what? That's the magic mental health moment. If it's not working, stop doing that thing. Do something different.
Do something different.
We see how this has played out before. Let's just do something different. Let's stop choosing misery. We'll be right back on The Ramsey Show. This is The Ramsey Show, 888-825-5225. Let's go out to Ian in Columbus, Ohio. What's up, Ian?
Hi, Jake and John. How are you guys doing today?
We're partying, dude. What's up?
So, I'm a firefighter right now. Have a pension, 22 years so I can retire. I just kind of got going. It's pension. I still pay Social Security, and then I have TSP as my investing option in that. And I also have the opportunity that presented itself to make a lot more income also as a firefighter, but no pension as my option there. It'd be just 401k only.
Okay.
So there's a pretty substantial difference in the pay and the hours. So currently I work 144 hours a pay period. So 48 hours one week, 96 hours the second week.
Okay.
And I do not get overtime until 53 hours a week.
Okay.
And I only make about $17 an hour.
Okay.
So I bring home, I've been putting about $400 a check into my Roth. So I bring home about $2,000 a pay.
You make $17 an hour as a fireman?
Yes, sir. And that's just with the raise. I do it part-time elsewhere. I make about 12.
Oh, gosh. Okay. Okay.
Hold on.
I know John has mad questions. Come on, John.
I just was driving this morning. Every Tuesday morning, me and my son go eat at Waffle House for a breakfast together. And there was a sign at McDonald's that said like $20 an hour.
Yeah.
So I used to work private transport as an EMT, and I made about in the mid-20s. But 5 years ago when I started, I only made about 11.
So for whatever this is
there's been a big increase with COVID and the demand for that job.
So you are really this is your heart. Your heart is just to serve your community.
So I also get a good bit of money from the military as well. I am service-connected veteran, so I get about $46,000 a year from that. So I don't really need to work. This is just what I enjoy doing.
So what about job 2? So you just kind of gave me the layout on job 1 with the pension.
Job 2 is 36 hours a week. I have the option to work 48 every other week, 48 hours with an extra shift, but it's not mandatory. And it starts out at $45 an hour.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, do it. For many reasons.
You get your life back, brother.
For multiple reasons.
Yeah, it's about $110,000 a year base salary.
Bye, Felicia. Bye.
Easy. And let's, for the people listening, let's explain why. A, you're making more money for less hours. So there's that. That's easy math, easy money. It's still in a field that you love. I mean, you're still being a firefighter, right?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have to move or anything? It's
actually closer to home.
Hey, come on. So that's reason number 2. And reason number 3, I like you in a 401k better than I like you in a pension.
Yeah, because I think the pension may be $1,800 a month by the time I get to use it.
Are you able to transfer the current pension funds into your 401k? Can you do like a direct transfer to move that over?
I don't know. I'm federal right now, and the alternative job is federal contractor, so it's different.
Mm-hmm.
I know I can access the money I'm putting into the pension. I just don't know what I'm allowed to do with it.
I would just check around and find out if you're able to move that over, only just because pension money, a 401k is more stable.
I've only been full-time with the pension since October.
Oh, okay, so there's not much in it.
I was part-time for a year beforehand trying to get full-time.
Uh-huh.
And Ian, let me give you, here's my matrix for this type of job. I've done the exact thing. I went from working for a government position to a private position to now I'm a YouTuber, for God's sake. So I've made that
influencer.
Move. But let me tell you the matrix I use, and I actually learned it by running around with policemen and firefighters doing crisis response, okay? I hold in one hand, this could go sideways in a wild, crazy way, and you, above all people, would know that, right? And absolutely. I hold in my other hand, but it probably won't. And so I always want to have if it does, and this is just me, right? This is just, my dad's a homicide detective. It could all go down any moment. I know that. And so I want to make sure I've got something. You will not have a problem finding another $12 an hour job, for God's sakes. And on behalf of taxpayers who are not first responders, I'm embarrassed for all of us, and I'm sorry that we have told you that's what you're worth. It's a shameful moment in our history. Okay.
With the hours, I make about $80,000.
Well, that's because you're working yourself to death, my friend.
Exactly.
You're killing yourself.
I work 2 days on, 3 days off. The schedule is not as terrible as it sounds, but I have a young child that
You're still not. It's still not fair that that's all you're getting paid. I love that you're a hard worker, but
gosh,
yeah,
dude.
So here's another kind of wrench at it is the alternative job that I'm considering. They're a plant. I don't want to say what they do exactly, but they're a big plant and they have numerous jobs.
Okay.
I took an entry-level job there a couple of years ago and worked there, trying to get on at the fire department because it is union. So my goal was to transition. Mm-hmm. And they told me no spots would be open for several years. So I took that job for the job I'm at currently. Mm-hmm. So I'm going back. So I've worked there before, and the environment is a little toxic to say the least, especially in that part of that fire department. I've heard, I haven't witnessed it, but I've heard it's a risky environment for mental health.
Okay, so here's what I want you to ask. You're fine financially. You're fine. Unless you go do a bunch of dumb stuff and borrow a bunch of money that you can't pay back. And please don't be like my buddies who get out of the military and go buy jacked up Jeeps. Like if you take care of your money, do you have a jacked up Jeep? Please tell me no.
No, I got a big truck.
I know you would. Okay, so so unless you're just make a bunch of goofball decisions with your money, you're going to be fine. You got money coming in from a couple of places, and you're young. You can work. I want you to ask the question with you and your wife about the quality of your life and what kind of life do y'all want to live moving forward. You've put your neck on the line for me and my family for long enough, and it's time for you and your wife to sit down and say, what kind of life do we want to build for ourselves and our little one? And let's craft the job on the back end of that. Does that make sense? And so if you want to make great money, work 36 hours a week, you've been in the military, you know how to deal with a boss that's running his mouth.
Mhm.
Like, that may not be toxic for you. Like, you can brush your shoulders off and move on.
Yeah, and I can be unhappy for 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and it may, what's unhappy to some might not be, you might get there and be like, this is not bad, guys. We're working in the air conditioning.
For that money, I could put up with a lot. I put up with more in the military for a lot less.
That's what I mean. And you might say, you know what, I like my schedule. I like being with the guys. I like 2 on, 4 off. I like that life, and it's wild. I got to work a lot. They're not paying me anything, but I'm going to stay with it. Like, and you might quit all this and go work at a coffee shop for $17 an hour. But I want you and your wife to sit down and plan your life out. What kind of life y'all want to have together, and then let's backfill it, because you got a couple of opportunities professionally, and you've got that fallback money from your military service.
Well, I have a question for you, Ian. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years? Like, what's in game for you career-wise? Or like, what's like that big, shiny beacon that's like, man, if I could get there, or like, this is what I'm gunning for?
I mean, right now it's just the pension was kind of just my thing. I just want to make sure that when my daughter is grown, that I can make sure she's taken care of. I mean, I'm paying down my consumer debt. I don't have a whole lot relatively. So I just want to get that taken care of and just take plenty of vacations and make memories.
I love that. I love when the why is the child in the family. I love that. I just don't want you to work to make money, though. And I don't necessarily want you to work for other people. I want you to make sure that what you're doing is something that you, Ian, enjoys, that you get joy out of, that you get a sense of purpose from as well. I think that it's all-star that you're like, yes, my daughter, But I would, like John, I would challenge you to search a little bit deeper, because I don't want you just hopping from thing to thing that makes this money and then this makes that money and that'll make me a little bit more money. I want you doing work that matters because you enjoy it for a multiple array of reasons. Does that make sense?
And I'll say this, Jade, that somewhere along the way we were told a lie that a pension is the safest way to have money when you're older, and that's not true.
It's the holy grail. Yeah,
and let me tell you this one thing, Ian. You want your daughter to have security moving forward. That's awesome. The greatest sense of security she will ever have is knowing that her daddy loves her and is there for her. Start there, my brother. We'll be right back on The Ramsey Show. Today's scripture of the day is Romans 12:9. Love should be shown without pretending. Hate evil and hold on to what is good. The great and powerful Jimi Hendrix says, when the power of love overcomes the love of power, the world will know peace. God, that guy's
dynamic.
The best. All right, let's go to Alexandra in San Diego. What's up, Alexandra?
Hi, Dr. John. How's Jay? Thank you guys so much for what you do.
Thank you so much for calling. What's up?
Hi. So I just have a question about kind of like the mindset issue I'm having with combining finances. So my husband and I have actually been together for a long time. We've been together for 12 years, married for 7. But we never joined our finances. We were young and we just thought it was smarter to just keep it separate to avoid any sort of issues. Everything was great for a while, but, the way I was raised is, no matter how little you make, you always save, even if it's $5, $10, $20 a paycheck. And the way he was raised is pretty much opposite. They had a lot of money. They blew through it. He didn't learn how to save. He just learned how to get into debt. So here we are, 11 years into being together. We started having some issues with our marriage where he was just drinking a lot, spending a lot of money even behind my back, racked up credit cards, things like that. So then we came to a point about maybe like 7-8 months ago, to where we had a separation for a little bit. We thought we were done, thought we were getting divorced. But, you know, I guess God brought us back together. We talked it through. He decided to get sober on his own, thank God. So it wasn't me telling him like an ultimatum or anything. So now we're at a point where I found Dave Ramsey and I've binge watched everything. And I want to get to the point where we can kind of start fresh and kind of like almost like renew our vows, and where we're going to, you know, have our finances be combined. But my biggest struggle is I don't have too much money saved. I only have about $25,000 saved, but it's taken me a long time to get it to this point. And I just feel like when I take on his debt, I feel like he committed a crime and I am having to serve the sentence for it. And I don't know how to get out of that mindset. So that's what I'm calling you for.
So number one, thank you for being honest and brave. Okay. I'm grateful for you. Okay. Y'all been through it. Okay. Mm-hmm. I know y'all are technically still married. You are not ready to be fully committed to doing this thing again yet. Here's why.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm telling you, you're not. You want to get back in the boat, but you want to keep one foot on shore because you're not fully trusting that he's all in. Or maybe you know that he's all in, or it feels like he's all in, but your body is reminding you on a daily basis, hey, we've been through hell before. Why are you getting back in that boat? And the scary thing about loving somebody who struggles with any sort of addiction is that's the one time I might tell you to have your own account, is if somebody is struggling with an addiction and they are draining your money. And right? So that's a terrifying moment. And at the same time, I'm telling you, you cannot have a marriage that works long term unless you go all in, unless you risk getting hurt again. That's the only way marriage works. And you look at that's what the word vulnerability means. I am giving you permission to hurt me. Please don't.
Yeah, and I think that's why we kept it separate for so long, because he could make all the mess he can want, and it never affected me financially.
But it did. It affected you in so many ways. It took your soul from you.
It's true.
It took everything from you. And by the way, if y'all are married and he dies, you can't be like, no, that's his side of the house. Take that half the couch. That's just how that works. So you were living in a fantasy. You wanted the best part of being married. You love being around that guy, but you didn't want to deal with the worst part is this guy's not trustworthy and he's not safe. Right? And so here you are. You've got a moment. The deck is clear. You've got to decide, am I going to go all in? And if I do go all in, what are my parameters for going all in? And that is, I will not be in a situation where I'm ever scared again. And one of the things that scares me is not knowing how our money works, what you're spending stuff on, where we're going to end up financially. Am I going to have to work when I'm 92 years old because my husband drank our money away or spent our money away, right? So it's a matter of I won't be in a situation where I don't feel safe anymore. And if I don't know where the money is, I don't feel safe.
Right. Yeah. And I guess I'm just scared of the future because who knows? I mean, as far as the last 6 months have been, he's been completely sober and doing so good. He finally got on board with me with the whole Ramsey thing, and we're about to start that together. But you never know when, if in a year he might do something behind my back or like start drinking again.
Yeah,
so
but that's all marriages. The great Esther Perel says the worst part about a marriage is every day is a risk. Every day. You've been married 70 years. You wake up and you're both 90. And I wake up and say, I love you. Will you love me today? That's marriage. My wife can do something crazy in a year. I can do something crazy. Like that's life. That's it. I've got a close buddy of mine that was driving his family home from a family weekend and their car rolled over a bunch of times. They got out. He didn't. That's marriage. That's life.
Yeah.
And
I think I'm also emotionally attached to my money to where like I feel like I'm about to, I've been saving for like almost 10 years to get to these like lousy $25,000. I'm about to drain it to $1,000 just so he can, I could pay off all of his stupid decisions.
It's yours. It's yours. It's not his. And as long as you use that language, then stay separated. When you're ready to say this is our money, because you can't expect him to join accounts with you, but you're not joining with him on the other side of this thing. If you're in, you got to be in. And if you're in, it's his debt and it's your debt. It's y'all's debt.
Okay, well, I really want to be all in, but I guess you're right. Yeah, I just have to take the risk. Otherwise, there's no other way to
Jade,
find
tell me
out.
if I'm wrong here. I can't think of another way of going all in than going all in. You've got $25,000. Call your own bluff.
Yeah.
How much does he owe?
The things I've been looking at. Not too much, actually. About $11,000 on his car, $2,000 in credit cards left, and about $15,000 in student loans.
Is he still actively creating debt? Like, is he, in the face of you paying these things off, is he going to go spend more on a credit card?
He's been really good. So since he got sober and we had this whole conversation, he started doing Uber. So we both go to school, we both work full time, but he also started doing, the Uber and Lyft at the same time. So he's working 14-hour days, and he got his credit cards down from like $15,000 down to $2,000. And,
so he's helping.
He's busting it.
He's helping. You're just afraid.
Yeah.
Is it the drinking you're afraid he's going to go back to, fall back into that? Or
I'm actually surprisingly not worried about him relapsing. I'm more.
This is about
just
your
having
money.
A hard time.
This is Alexander. This is about your money.
It is. I'm just so attached to it because I worked so hard to earn it that I don't want to, just pretty much see it all go.
Is it worth your marriage?
No, absolutely not.
I gotta say, I feel like we're talking a lot about him, but I feel like now it's you.
Alexander, it's you.
I feel like now I hate to say it like this, but I feel like now the problem has shifted over to maybe now you're the problem.
Y'all both are the problem, but you both are the solution. You've got to decide, is holding your secret, holding your little pacifier blankie that you feel like keeps you safe is worth your marriage. And if it is, have the courage to look him in the eye and say, you're not worth $24,000. And be done with it. Let him go. Mm-hmm. And otherwise say, I'm all in. I've been asking you to be all in. I'm looking at a changed man. You changed your entire life. He changed his friend circle. He changed the way his body copes with stress and rejection and fear. He's working 17 jobs to pay his debts off. Why don't you join him and be all in? Because he sounds like he is now.
Yeah, no, it's totally worth it. I'm definitely leaning towards that way. It just sucks to have to
Don't lean.
over from scratch.
You can't lean. You can't lean at the altar. You jump. You jump. I go all in.
No one here is saying it's easy. No one here is saying it's easy.
Hey, you could call us back in 3 weeks and this could have ended terribly. That's the risk. That's what love is. That's what marriage is. That's what friendship is. That's what work is. It's all a risk. You just got to ask yourself, is he worth that risk? And more importantly, are you worth that risk? And I think the answer is yes.
I do too. I think the answer is yes.
All right, I want to thank Jade and all the guys in the booth.
Whoop, whoop.
Jade, it's a good time.
I feel like we're best friends now.
I was about to say, I got a new best friend. And I have 0 best friends, so I've got one now.
Perfect.
That's fantastic. And America, I want to thank you for listening. Thanks for being with us. Be kind to one another. Take care of your money. Take care of your neighbors. We'll see you soon. Hey, it's Dr. John Deloney. If you like what you heard in this episode and want to know more about getting started on the Ramsey baby steps, go to RamseySolutions.com and click on the Get Started button. We'll help you figure out the best next step for you based on your specific situation. That's RamseySolutions.com and click Get Started.